Okay, so here are a couple things. So here are a couple things that that are concerning me a little that I think have to do with the RNMer, electronic harassers, But there's really no solid reason to really think that. So the thing that happened to this MP3 player, the SanDisk Go, the black with the blue trim, when that thing, I thought I got fried. I thought because one really suspicious thing that I know for sure happened was one time this phone was connected to the car, and so you can connect your phone to it and stuff. And I was accidentally pressed the button on the steering wheel. It goes, "No, phone's connected," and it makes this sound, kind of almost like the Skype sound, and you would. Well, they made weird sound. They made sounds like taking a deep breath and sighing, but it was just like a boom, like when you hang up from not being able to connect to the phone. But anyway, I was hearing that while I was driving. I was like, I'm not pressing any buttons. It was making the sound like I was pressing the button to try to connect to the phone. And it was just doing it randomly, like all the time. And I'm like, I'm like, mother, like this technological harassment or something like that, where it's like, well, I was suspicious at first. I mean, and it might not, well, yeah, who it has to do with it, but the fact that it probably all revolves around the fact that I'm targeted, I think is, we could stick with that generalization. Because a while back, I got banned from the Starbucks Wi-Fi on my computer, and I could have, I probably could have gotten it taken care of, but I thought it was like probably some guy went in the shop and he's like, "Fuck this guy! He's always here. He's all tweaked out and he's wearing his skirts and it's like, man, I don't want to see this guy. This guy's an embarrassment to the establishment." And they're like, "Well, it's just banned from the Wi-Fi and maybe you won't show up anymore." But they have a Wi-Fi, so it's like, well, you got to ban me from that too. You know, come on now. You got to take a full measure, Mr. Hacker. It's like, I can find a way to work around this stuff. I'll work with it. But now I have a new computer. Oh, I haven't been banned yet. Hopefully, but they treat you based on your behavior. If you're a good boy, if you don't do drugs, and you dress like a good boy should dress, then maybe we won't ban your IP address from Starbucks. Even though we don't work for Starbucks. No, we're just some hooligans who think we're doing a good deed. We're enforcing the laws that aren't being enforced enough. That's what we think. Yeah, well, there's a reason that they're not an actual political power. So, yeah, I was hearing that phone thing, and then I finally find out how to go into the settings, and it's like, okay, so because I've never tried that before, and you could add a device, and there was a device. It was Samsung Galaxy. I'm like, what the fuck, man? A Samsung Galaxy is connected to the car, So I removed it, and then no more phone sounds, no more bloop as I'm driving, So wow, like some phone got connected, some fucker in this parking lot, was like, "Fuck this guy. Let's piss him off. Let's piss him off so much that he kills himself." He's gonna get so mad. He's gonna crash his car, which is great because he doesn't deserve a car. He deserves to go to prison. Hopefully, he'll kill himself. Now take care of our problem with him. But like I said, not good enough. I mean, it's just very small measures. But yes, it is irritating. It's annoying, but I'm coming up with great ways to cope with the psychic thing, the synthetic telepathy, whatever the hell, If you think about the wrong things, that draws them towards you. Or like, wait a minute, what are you saying about Christianity? Fuck you, asshole! Fuck you, asshole! And it, like, really riles them up. Just stop thinking about that shit! So, but I'm doing okay, Having a decent relationship with them. We're getting along alright. Making it work, making it happen. And, but yeah, they're just sort of like, doing their little wiring stuff with their techno skills. And, you'll never figure out how we're pulling this shit off. You're stupid. Yep. That's what they're all like. So, a couple things that indicate for sure that somebody's fucking with me, Whether or not it all goes back to how I was originally targeted and how that just, is just like, seems to just be ongoing. There's the guy that put the shoes on my car, like what? And then somehow I got a violation for it. Like, what? Fuck. Who the fuck would do that shit? Like, that's... What? And, there was that. When I was at park, and there was that stupid fucking black SUV, and their license plate was like CX5000 or something like that. Yeah, I already talked about them. I just yelled at them, I was calling them out on something that I was pretty sure I was right about, and I was. They were like, oh, we're just making sure you don't jack off or something. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah, you should illegalize tinted windows then, Yeah, people don't fucking, like, connect the dots. People don't fucking think about these things, They don't consider the basics. They just all of a sudden rush to this extreme conclusion that's just absurd, And then look what it makes them do. It makes them mistreat people, and you get mistreated by people who don't know how to think straight. Man, So now I'm thinking, what I'm all building this up to, is that somehow through the aux cord connection, they're like blowing out a power fuse in my MP3 player or something. Because it happened to the new one. It happened to the red one that I got. So, I'm trying to just not leave them plugged in anymore. It just seems to it doesn't happen while I'm using it. It just happens when I return to it and I try to turn it on. It doesn't say low battery, it's just black screen. Thankfully, got resolved pretty much the same way that this one did. You just wait a little while. It's like it's just blocked up. Something's blocking it or something for a little while. And then just like overnight, the next day I tried to turn it on and it was like, well, it turned on. The screen turned on. It said the battery was dead. But, whatever. I got it working again. So at least it seems like, now that that's happened twice, I'm suspicious, like, okay, well now they're hacking into the fucking aux cord. They're like, you're an asshole for finding out that we connected our phone to your car. You're an asshole for finding out that someone's an asshole. Yeah, we're gonna punish you for making it harder for us to harass you. But maybe not, The phone thing, yeah, that's pretty suspicious. This aux cord thing, a little harder to trace, But, it really doesn't matter who's Well, the spying thing doesn't matter to me. You really want to waste your time watching me just do my fucking things? There's no problem with that. I mean, it is a little, see, with this thing, it's like they're trying to destroy my devices kind of a thing. And that costs me money, you know. So if they're doing things to the point where it's like, if it destroyed the MP3 player for good, it was like, that's like 50 fucking bucks, you know. They're like trying to hold me back and keep me down by being, well, now you need to make more money. Why don't you get a full-time job, you know? But that won't be good enough either. And you get the full-time job, you know. It's like this is stuff that I'm planning on working towards anyway, you know. I already have my own plan in life, you know. They think that they have to guide you like it's like, dude, I already know, you know. It's like they assume that you're just this complete, like, ridiculous wreck. It's so unrealistic. It's so, I mean, these people just fucking whack. Yeah, they're not running a very efficient operation. That's pretty much my overall take on this shit. But that's good for me, I guess. You know, maybe. So I don't know how to look this shit up. It's like, what, do I have to go to the Project Avalon forum? And because that people have all kinds of different experiences with everything, you know. I mean, with all that stuff. So you'll be like, well, is it the remote harassers that are somehow, or gang stalkers that are in my community that are somehow, you know, pointing some radioactive device at my car somehow? They're doing their, you know, wicked techno shit to, you know, skills they're so fucking proud of, you know. It's like, okay, it's one thing to have the skills, but you don't have anything better to use them for, you know? Oh, they would if maybe the military or the government would accept them, but why don't they? I don't know. I guess maybe they're a little unfit to be working for the country, you know? So they just fuck around with, you know, they're all resentful. They're like, man, I can't beat the government. I got fired. I was on dishonorably discharged. I'm not psychologically capable or something, you know. So they're like, man, fuck that. I got the skills. I'm just gonna fuck with people my whole life, you know. So yeah, that's really my impression of these people, of course. I mean, that's some of them. The overall kind of attitude, at least, you know, the Patrick Stars that talk to me, you know. Overall, everything's fine. I mean, MP3 player's fine. Really, nothing devastating has ever come of this. I mean, I've been a target for 5 years. The worst thing that's ever happened that I thought was related to that was getting ambushed by that fucking guy, getting almost attacked by that, you know, prison runaway. Fucking guy wearing prison clothes who's just, you know, ran away from prison and made a makeshift axe or something on his way over. So there was that, and then how the piezo sort of disappeared. I mean, but that actually had, you know, but still, there are very reasonable, regular, alternate reasons for all this stuff to happen. That doesn't mean that I'm going to talk myself out of believing that I'm targeted, because I don't think that's true. I think I am targeted, you know. But in what way? In all, you know, because everything that's happened that I'm led to believe or supposed to be led to believe is related hasn't been that bad. It's all just about trying to annoy you. So you like, it's like they just assume that you have like a hard time managing your anger or something, you know. It'd be really good if they targeted someone with terrible anger management skills who just, you know, as soon as he gets pissed off, he attacks somebody and go to prison. Like, he won't last long at all. And yeah, it's hard, it's frustrating, you know, and you get angry, but You know, it's like, do you want to live, and do you want to live well? Yes, I do. All right, so you got to control yourself. Self-control is crucial. All right, otherwise you're just being thrown around like a rag doll in the woods, and you're just never going to be able to get anything you want. Most of the people that, I feel like, they're parking there to piss me off, or they're... It used to be this fucking red truck at the that would leave every time. They would sit there with their lights on. As I was leaving Starbucks, I see them sitting there with their lights on, and then I get in my car, and as soon as I turn on the ignition, they leave. That happened, or as soon as I approach the car or something like that. As soon as I come by, they leave, and it happened with that red truck. And it's not like it was always at the same time. I don't think it couldn't have always been the exact same time, but at least 3 different times, the truck did that. Man, that's before I started taking down the license plate numbers. I don't know. I never see that guy anymore. I think after a while they do sort of lay off, in some ways. They're like, well, it's not worth the time, But they feel, they think they're on the moral Mount Everest, Like, they know how people need to live. They know how people need to be controlled. They know that their opinion is the best opinion, So they're like, well, we need to force our way in, We know we're right, Even though the world says we're wrong, we know we're right, So we're just, so far we're just on the baby steps where we're just trying to get people to go crazy, by this really extremely subtle shit, Oh my god, oh no. Okay, so but at least with me, I'm pretty cerebral, I think you'd say, Cerebral. But I'm good at figuring things out, thinking things through, coming up with strategies, taking care of myself, controlling myself, and injuring himself. He's done it. Every way that I could think of that he could abuse himself and injure himself, he's done it. Alright, anyway. Yeah, it's just, as you just have to channel your emotions, you just have to get along, and I'm doing okay. I'm doing fine. Okay? It's just supposed to be, because there are gangs talking, it's like they're just sitting here in the parking lot. They're like, yep, getting paid to just be here. I don't. Probably not, because, yeah. It's not like that. It's probably the state of mind, or the pattern of my thought, the track in my mind when I'm supposed to think that I'm being gang stalked. It almost forces me to connect the events and to become suspicious or something. So maybe rather than the events actually happening where people are stalking me, maybe the actual event is in mind control, being put into this suspicious state where I am deliberately led to pick things out, Anyway, that's just a brief, description of a part of a possible theory. I can explore that later. Anyway, okay, we've been doing goodbye.